honestly can't believe how dark this got when I sprayed it. It's a new can of fixative, and you know, I hadn't thought about it, but maybe, oh look, there's a good place you can really see the difference where I had that clip in the way of the spray, which I just would like to remind you is not a good idea. Okay, so obviously the first thing I have to do is bring up my lights. And in my photograph, I actually lightened this part up a little bit because I just can't see at all what's going on. And I decided maybe it was just too dark down here. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the sky and just my usual work from the top down. I did put all my pastels away, so now I've got to start with a new group, which I said was a good idea. Although now, like that, I have to look through everything for what I want. I don't know. But I don't want to just use what I used before. I'm hoping that what I do now will make it better than it was. Otherwise, what's the point? I don't know, that sky just has got some purple in it. But maybe kind of a warm purple. So a warm purple would just be more toward pink. And a cooler purple would be more toward blue. Okay, so probably no. But I can't really tell until I work on the clouds some. So I'm going to work on the clouds some. And I'm going to try to add back in some warmth. It all is so cold up here. So I definitely added back in some warmth, just like blasted that right to it. So this is what I was kind of wondering, like if I made purple in the sky, then I might not be able to really make that feeling of those clouds over there. So I think I've got to come back and make the sky a little bluer again. And bang, that's it. Even though I sprayed it so hard, this feels like that's like that if I can't add another color right there without it mushing together. So I want to make a difference in the edge of this cloud compared to the edge right there. So what I did really is I pushed down harder on the front edge of my pastel, the leading edge, and then need to like that. Yeah, I just pushed just so it didn't end up looking like an outline. I don't even know if I've ever tried that before, but I pushed down harder on the leading edge and then let the back edge of the pastel not press down as hard. So I wasn't pressing with an even pressure over the whole pastel. And I'm going to put in some white too. I don't think I have yet. So I'm doing that same thing. I'm pressing harder on the edge that's close to the edge of the clouds and not as hard on the other edge. Okay, so I could probably leave that for a minute and keep working on those dang clouds. Okay. So I had class yesterday, and I felt like there was this person, and she just kept saying she couldn't get her darks dark enough. She couldn't get her darks dark enough. And I just want to remind you that it sometimes is that the lights are too dark. So you're not able to make enough contrast because really it's the lights that are too dark, not the darks aren't dark enough. Wow. Okay, I'm hating everything. I don't know, the texture feels really funny. It's going to make bigger changes. That is way too light. Way to go. So, like I say, I try never to make rules about what's going on. But on a gray day like this, where there's a lot of gray in the sky, or as we have in this case, violet, yeah, there's just not as much blue. So it's overall it's a warmer color in the shading and in the darks than it would be on a sunny day, probably. And it's not to make a rule about it, but if you're having trouble and you can't figure out why you can't make your gray day look like a gray day, oh, maybe it's because you only use purple and no gray at all. No, seriously, it might be that you just have too much blue in your shadows. I just used this olive green in the sky. I was trying to figure out something to make it warmer. And I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but in the fall, it seems to me that the clouds, like because maybe they're reflecting the light back from the trees and all, they get this sort of ochre look that you don't see that color in the clouds in the summer. So it's something I always look for in the fall in my clouds. I look for the warm colors just to see if they're there. The clouds are such a big part of this picture. I feel like they can't just be monolithic. They need some variety. So that's what I was trying to do right now. Wow, and even though certain things I do make me really anxious about trying that, like this is making me feel a little anxious, but I feel like there's some green too. So I try to do whatever, I do whatever crosses my mind. And if there's consequences to pay, then I try to fix it. But if I'm feeling too timid, it probably just means I should start something new. And besides, it's ridiculous to feel timid about this. Okay, well, I think I made the sky better. So now I'm going to work on the trees. There's really maybe I'm just going to make this a little lighter at the horizon. Well, I do not know why that did that. All right, trees, trees, trees. Okay, so the question is where to start on the trees. And I think I'm going to start here because this is the closest to me and I want to see how much I can bring this forward before I go there. So I don't know, that's just what I'm thinking. And I came back with my red right away because of that thing. I wanted to be sure I got the reds in. So it's a little bit the opposite of how I usually work, trying to see the effect of the light. But with the reds, it's just putting those reds in because it's so hard to make them go down on top of other colors. Okay, now we need some darks. That is really not dark, my friends, compared to maybe this was the one. Oh yeah. Okay. Just trying to get some of that light coming through there. Oh, deep sighing. So I put the little windscreen thing on my microphone in hopes that it would kind of filter out some of the deep sighs here. So we'll see. All right, that's not really doing that. It's not dark enough. What are you? Also not dark enough. Got this nice super dark here, but and I broke off a piece, but I cannot find, unless it's you. Is it you? Oh, maybe. I really like the shape of these trees and I would really like to get it right. Just saying, if I don't get it right, it's not because I didn't try. Ooh, I'm going to try to take a look around and see if there's something I wish she would fix before she went any further. I don't see any weird boot shapes or... A little much in there. Oh, talk about a little much. I went from a little much to like a lot much. Okie dokie. I guess I'm going to have to break off another piece of this dark pastel. That was, never really did get that unwrapped, right? Okay, here we go. Okay, well, I'm not going to actually break it off. I'm just going to use it. Wow, the shine on this is incredible from the fixative. Okay. All right, no, that's no good. Really, it was the shape of that piece of pastel that was, I mean, the color I don't like either, but the shape of the piece I couldn't quite make it do what I wanted. It was too little and scratchy. Oh man, that is so like off the wall, but okay, we'll just see if I can make it better. Just, you know, go big or go home. Ugh. I've sort of been reviewing things in my life, and I just feel like I just can really see that I'm really careless. And the only place it seems to work for me is in my painting, that just, I don't know, it's just not focused enough. Oh, golly, Miss Molly. All right, let's... Oh, blue. I was going to use bluish green back there, or blue. You know, I definitely got that lighter than I meant to, just saying. Just so you don't think this was sort of all on purpose. Okay, so now I'm going to think, and still cannot seem to... So if you can't bring it forward with greens, just... It's a big example right here of doing what I think I know will work instead of doing what I'm seeing. Yeah, I know. Even. Just need a different color. All right, I think the thing to try is maybe some of the background in there. Golly. Okay. Yep, just always the holy cow, it's over now. I've lost it. And unfortunately, I lost it right in front of everyone who looks at this video. I like that a little better. It's totally not true, but I do like it better. Okay, so now the road. That piece is too wide, too light, too so many things. Wow, it's like every day I could really go out and paint. Here it's been raining. I guess you guys know how that is in Vermont from this summer. Knock that down a little. Okay, so I did lighten this up a little bit so I could sort of see what's going on. I don't know, maybe some sky holes would help these trees not look like they're made of concrete. Golly, I just keep ending up with everything so repetitive. I can't stand it. I guess the good thing is I noticed it. All right, well, the true thing is I know for sure that I would have to spray this again. And since it's pouring down rain outside, that's not going to be right now. So as soon as I get it all covered, I will obviously stop, and then I'll see if I want to add another 15 minutes to this demo when it's not raining. Really, if you're building a studio or doing something for a studio, it sure is nice to have a porch, a covered porch where you can spray your work. The one time we built a studio, as soon as it was finished, I realized, oh my gosh, we need to build a covered porch. So we did that, and I do mean we. Jim and I built it. I kind of like this tree now, even though it's not really. Let's see if I can get it just a little darker though in the middle. It's funny, I'm just not liking my strokes. I'm only liking my strokes that are big and broad. And no, I don't think that got better. Let's see what else I can do. You know, I used to work with the flat side of my pastel just sort of through the beginning, and then I would switch over and use more of a stroke. But I'm just not liking it anymore. I seem to be preferring just to finish with the big flat side of my pastel. So things change, I guess. Just don't know why no gray can look dark like it is. Oh, did I find you? No, that's the green. I finally found my piece of green. Okay, so I need something dark. Or conversely, I mean, I know it is just kind of buried in there. Let's just see what this will do. Yes, well, I don't know about you, but I can't even see that. Is this one darker? Not much. All right, so maybe I could just bring a little light in. Just want to show a little of the trunk. I don't know why I feel like I want to, but I... Nothing is dark enough. Oh, there's that green. Okay. Get back in the green section. Stay out of the blacks. Okay, this is charcoal. It's like, I don't even want to do that much detail. All right, so that's just charcoal, so I need to come over that with something. That just scratched it. It was so hard. Okay, so maybe I just got to try to make some of that stuff a little lighter behind there. Oh, that gray looks so blue on that violet. Okay, well, it's just got so much on it. I'm going to have to spray it again. And I think I actually learned something about the fixative today. And that is, like, I sprayed it way too heavy this time, to no avail. It didn't really seem, I thought I'd sprayed it so heavy I was going to have enough surface for a really long time, but it didn't work that way. So I think it's better, don't spray it like I did this time. Just spray it sort of more average, and then spray it again if you need to. Not think that you're going to get so much more out of a heavy spray compared to two lighter sprays. And I'm pretty disgusted at the moment, so it's just as well that it's raining and I can't go out and spray it now and come back. I think I'd just make it worse. It's really good to not to put things away, especially if you're really irritated, because a lot of times you can't remember later what bugged you so much, because you've forgotten what you were trying to get, and you see it more like a stranger, which is good, because we're nicer to strangers than we are to ourselves. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna spray it, see if I can make it better.